Americans live as if calamity isn't right down the road. It's really made me passionate about, the average American household income is $52,000. And the reality is, Shannon and I were having a great conversation last night. I asked her, just candidly, Shannon, when you get a couple that want to be pre-approved, what's the income, what's the number, right? That if they don't have that income, it's like, oh, this is going to be a challenge, right? What's that number? 75,000 or above. And, one of the things that I'm passionate about with my kids is you've got to learn the skills, you've got to learn a trade, you've got to learn how to bring value to the marketplace. You got to be looking at 2 to 3 times the national average of income if you expect to have a life where you're not constantly worried about the next paycheck. How are we doing, Jen? Better? Okay. And so it's something that I'm really passionate about. We're going to go into later where we're talking about our CRM, and some of the I'm gonna play for you a video Zoom call that I had with Chime. And the reality is, I don't want this to come across as a negative way. This is not this, okay? But I'm an investor, and what I invest in you guys. And in that, and we're also entrepreneurs, right? In that, there's a couple of challenges, right? And what I found is the average agent here at Haven in the last year that has been with us for a year is netting between 65 and 95,000, right? It's kind of the range. And what I've discovered and what I've had to come to terms with is research has shown that when people make about 70,000, their ambition to continue earning greater amounts just hits the floor. It's sort of like, I've hit 65, I've hit 70,000. Cool, that's all I need. I'm a little bit older than many of you. I have a daughter that has a prescription that costs $5,000 a month that is not paid for by insurance. I have a daughter that required $160,000 surgery to ensure that she has a better quality of life. She had an ostomy bag when she was 8 years old. Insurance didn't cover it because they called it an elective surgery, right? I paid out of my pocket to have an internal pouch built for her so she didn't have to go through grade school and middle school. I get emotional here. After her initial time in the hospital, she had to wear an ostomy bag because her insides had to heal. She had so many surgeries. And in that time, for that first year that she was in school, her bag burst a couple of times. They're kids. She wanted to get, after spending 5 months in the hospital and she's finally starting to feel better, she wanted to get out and get active, but she had to figure out how to do life with having an ostomy bag hanging off of her. And a couple of times it burst, and I'll never forget her coming home and just being devastated and embarrassed. And I started to see my daughter start to shrink into her shell. Thank God I was in real estate. Thank God I have the personality that if I can make $100,000 in a year, why not 5? I don't want to work more. I want to work smarter, more efficiently, use leverage, outsource, pay for marketing, invest in those kinds of things. Because I'll tell you guys something. Americans live as if calamity isn't right down the road.